Hello Stitchy friends, and welcome back to my channel, Emma's Stitches. Do not adjust your sets, don't worry, this is only temporary. I thought I would start by showing you the view from my sewing room window, as it's a beautiful Friday afternoon here in West Yorkshire, and thought you might like to see what I can see. We have quite a large garden, so it's quite hard to keep on top of. I do my best, but I'm no Monty Don. So I have a lovely little rose garden just here, and to the left you can see my ornamental pear tree, which has had a little haircut yesterday, so it's looking nice and neat. So beautiful sunny afternoon, and welcome back. Hello. Now you get me instead of the roses. Sorry about that. And my sewing room, of course, which hopefully you would like a little tour of, which I thought I might show you around this afternoon, give you a little flavour of how I've organised my sewing paraphernalia and how I've decorated and kitted up my room. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments and warm welcome back on my previous video. It's very nice to be back and part of the Flosstube community, so I really appreciate it. Thank you, and hope you enjoy what you see here, or at least I can keep you company for a little while you are stitching. I will start by showing you what this room looked like when we first moved in, which is quite a contrast. Very dark room. It was being used as a dining room by the previous owners. It had dark green wallpaper on one side with huge ferns on it, and painted dark blue all the rest of the room. So it really was quite a dark little room. So my vision was obviously light and bright, leave the walls bare so that I can adorn it with colourful sewing, cross stitching or stitched pieces, anything, and white furniture with very small hints of oak, you can just see there, as a contrast. That's what I did. So it took me about 6 months from start to finish. I shall show you now a little selection of photos which show the evolution of my sewing room. Enjoy these pictures just for a moment, and then I shall be back. There you go. Everything in here I did myself. I did all the wallpaper stripping, the painting, the filling, the sanding, the furniture purchasing and the furniture building. I did all by myself. I really enjoy that process, and I love the process of getting organised. So now I shall show you around. I just need to figure out the best way to do this without giving you too much wobbly camera and letting you see details. So I shall just give you a very quick spin around my sewing room. So that's the view that you could just see, and I have my sewing corner there. I wanted to set up different areas for different tasks. So I have my little sewing corner there, and then I have a quilt wall that I have attached to the front of a shelving unit that I shall show you momentarily. That's my back wall where I have put a billy unit, all IKEA furniture, a billy unit with Oxburg doors, I think they're called, with a bit of glass in them, a Kallax unit that my son didn't want that I adopted, and that corner is a kitchen breakfast bar block, kitchen butcher's block from IKEA, with matching shelving above it, and another Kallax unit that I bought for this room. And this area is my cross-stitching desk, and above there I've put 2 shelves which were originally just displaying all my finished framed cross-stitching, and slowly is becoming repurposed with charts that I want to stitch and I don't want to forget about. And there is a little bit of quilting and my sewing room plaque that my husband bought me, and back round to my front window. And then just here is another desk which I use for any other project. You'll see here I have my little miniature sewing room that I'm currently in the process of building, and this morning's Stitchy delivery, and the boxes to raise up my tripod. So that gives you a little view around my room, and now I shall do a little bit more in detail in the cupboards for you. So this side is one of my happy places. I have a lovely, just a very cheap desk from IKEA, just literally the worktop, and you buy the table legs separate. I have a place to put my feet and all my charging stuff, and my stuff in for my Luna Lappen and friends, and my Lowries which go here, magnifiers, and then all the things that just make me happy. At the moment I am trying to decide on whether I like the floss colours for these tart tins or whether I wanted to go a little bit red. I've just sprayed these yesterday with actually a car paint. So the pattern and the tins I got from Create Nostalgia last weekend when I was at the Wrexham retreat, and this was a little present from Edita. I'm sure you know Edita, she's Polish. That's her on the left and that's me on the right. How cute is that? Edita is my only visitor that's ever been to my stitching room, and she brought that with her. Isn't that lovely? And my partially completed current Luna project, which is Eric the polar bear, and then a nice collection of needle minders and people's cards, business cards, and just all sorts of things that make me smile when I look up at this desk, and a pattern that I downloaded off DMC, Frida Kahlo. I do love Frida Kahlo, and that is there because I want to start it. Whether I do or not, that's another matter. This corner is one of those lovely pip and chip floss organiser boxes with my name on, and that's my spare bits for Eric. And then in there I have the pip and chip bobbins for both the threads that are already labelled up, and some that I started to bobbinate there. So just, you know, nothing too organised, nothing too tidy, just a little bit of a creative mess. These coasters are great. They're from the Fat Quarter shop. They're really nice, heavy ceramic ones. They're pretty. And a little sewing notebook. Up there's my shelves, as I briefly showed you, with my favourite cross stitch, my Handmaid's Tale cross stitch by a Wild Violet, and an old Cinderella one, and my favourite whip, which is Indian Maiden, and she's there again so I can keep an eye on her and remind myself to put more stitches in her. And then everything else up there, pins from Flossie Sews and Grows that her daughter's made to raise money for her Scout Jamboree. Our lovely little loops pattern, Old Barn Stitching Company pattern. What's that called? Stitching is in my roots. Yeah, it's beautiful, that. So that's definitely on a to-do list. And this was a purchase from Jacob at the Big Stitch. He even signed it for me. And that's on my to-do list. These two are two recent purchases, again, from Create Nostalgia. Also on to-do list. And then behind them, there's even more. And up there is more. Some of that was D-Stash, some from Flossie Sews and Grows, and some from Ursula. So, and then my journals, and just other things that I generally would like to stitch. There's little me. And up there is a favourite Dimensions kit that luckily I bought before they shut down, that is there to do, and a little picture from Lindisfarne where I went with my husband on holiday. So that is my stitchy area where I can sit and stitch and look out of the window. Hope you like that bit. Next up is my Kallax unit. I purchased a 4x4. In hindsight, I wish I'd probably gone a little bit higher because I have room for it above. However, I've made it work how it is, and I've raised it up onto little legs, so you can buy the legs, the metal frame that you can see at the bottom there, to raise it up a little bit. That's given me extra space for frames and things underneath. And then you can see I chose a mix of cupboard inserts with the doors, and also 2 sets of drawers, and then just to this side I have put a glass shelf, and also the opposite side there a glass shelf. These two I've left open. So just a mix of what would work for me. There's various configurations you can get if you're thinking about getting a Kallax. It's absolutely brilliant for crafters. I also changed all the handles just to my taste, instead of the little metal ones, which little metal looking plasticky ones, which are perfectly fine, but I really had my eye on these diamante style, and they all shine in the sunlight and create little effects like that, which I like very much. So, do you want to see inside? How best to do it? What I shall do is I will open all the doors and come back one moment. So, cupboard by cupboard, I shall let you have a little sneaky look inside. This cupboard is my kitted up projects. So I have a mix in here, Touching the Autumn Sky, and it's everything. It's fabric, floss, pattern. It's literally ready to go. I have a couple of Mirabilias, Siren and the Shipwreck, Royal Games, etc. What have I got there? Oh, Months in a Mug. Some more of those. And Again, just a mixture of different sorts of ways of storing my kits. These are the Mad for Plaid bags by It's So Emma. These are my 2 Shepherd's Bush stockings waiting to go. Desperate to start them. And then other various projects that are fully kitted. The lovely Little Loops Patreon, first month's Patreon. There, I've bound my edges, I've overlocked my edges. I'm ready to go. Look at the beautiful way that the thread has been presented on the lovely 3D printed floss ring. It smells absolutely gorgeous as well. And other projects that I am wanting to start and have got kitted up in there. That's that section. This section is mostly works in progress. Again, a mix of me-made bags and Mad for Plaid bags, and the one in the middle was a lovely gift off Stephanie and Paula at the Big Stitch. There, with our lovely puffin pattern Life by the Sea from Sammy, Little Loops Stitching, which I believe is released for general sale tomorrow. Next one along is my scissor collection, and also needles in there, bag of needles, also earrings. I do like these. And again, just things I like. Some Valdani threads, a beautiful card made for me by Lisa Snowden, who won a giveaway when I was first doing Flosstube, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. Nobody had ever cross-stitched anything for me at that point when I received that. I was really, really touched. Oh, and there might also be a little bottle of limoncello there, brought back from Italy by my dad for me. See, the things that you might see in these cupboards, you need to remember that things that you see in the sewing room stay in the sewing room, not to be shared. Not to be shared, not to be snitched. In here I have a lovely selection of floss drops. I shall show you, obviously, lovely Charlie Feathers hand-painted one. I have a Laurie Holt floss drops. I have some beautiful ones from Love Poppet that I got from the Big Stitch, and various others that people have made me. Stitching Bee, and little cute floss rings as well. And behind them I keep my master set of DMCs. They're not complete because obviously some of them are in projects. So I have the DMC floss boxes, and I keep all my DMCs grouped by colour and then in number order. And then that's my set of Pip and Chip bobbins, which I am bobbinating up here. I think I've showed you before. One box. That's a second set because my husband bought me this as a Christmas present. So if there's missing floss from there and missing floss from there, it means they're in one of these project bags, or also another area of whips, which I shall show you shortly. So making a big mess as I go along. A couple of drawers, stationery drawers. This one might have some secret snacks in it, keep them away from the teenagers. Here is just another little random collection of things. These are my snowman buttons waiting to go on my snowman quilt, and then just various other bits and bobs that I've bought that I don't know where to put. This is a lovely little collection. Several of these things were gifts. Some are things I've purchased. That's from Cheryl that makes the wood crafts. I got that at the Big Stitch as well. Which way around is it? Absolutely adore that. Ellie Welly Stitcher made us these. This was from her friend Claire that lives across the road from her, and that one. And then this was just another purchase from somewhere, and that one you've seen already. And yet another pip and chip bobbin holder thing behind. And again, more stationery. That's a glasses cleaner. Oh, scribbly little bit of card. Those are my scissors for cutting anything else, not fabric, not thread. So those are my paper cutting scissors. And again, the next one, just some more stationery. I have just recently swapped things around, so I have a spare cupboard at the moment, shock horror, with nothing in it. This one I have more kits, more purchases, as you can see, some lovely bothy threads, also bigger kits, different kits. So for example, a big tapestry kit, and then ranging through to cotton and twine. Is this? Yeah, a cotton and twine kit. All sorts of different. Come on, Emma. All sorts of different kits in there, different patterns. A couple of calendars, you know, the Rendales, Fabulous Houses, all that sort of stuff. Next one along is my Christmassy box. These are my Stitchfinity advent calendars, Wonderland Crafts Christmas Santa, and their advent calendars from previous years, plus more kits, plus another bothy threads, plus a bell pull pattern that I want to stitch. So these are also whips, but whips of a slightly different kind. This cupboard is floss boxes for whips. So for example, that's my Nora Corbett. I have another one for cookbook, Mrs. Santa Claus's cookbook. I'll have to add on who that's by. Oh, Living on a Rainbow, I think. My Mirabilia. What else have I got? India Maiden and Treehouse of Summer. So that's some floss boxes for whips. And here I have another little Christmas corner with all Christmas things that come out then. You'll see some previous makes in there. Again, this little ho 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 tree was a gift off Edita. She's very generous. And other bits of decoration and things to get out at Christmas. I'll show you this one, as my husband bought me this last year. I know it's AI, but it's very sweet. It's the thought that counts. This really is a miscellaneous. This is some more Christmassy kits, this is. So, for example, some Nutmeg Company kits waiting to be done. More Spellbound bead kits. Whole snowman collection at the back. These are very lovely, again, beaded Christmassy kits. And then some magazine free kits and some more cotton and twine there. And another sort of big tapestry style wool cross stitch kit. I even bought the cushion back and put that in there as well. So more kits than I care to admit. Let's shut the cupboard doors, then nobody has to know what's in there. Next I have my quilting corner. This is my cutting station. So I have all my cutting rulers, have some binding on a binding baby there, some that I've made previously, and then you can just store it on there. Have my precision glue and all the different things that I would need when I'm quilting. That's the latest project waiting to be done from the Riley Blake Designs Block Challenge 2026, which obviously is all finished now, and that's just my next block. That's the next job, I decided which fabric I wanted for which part, and that's my next job, is to cut that up into the requirements. That's a free pattern on the Riley Blake Designs website. This pattern here, this quilt seeds pattern, that's a plan for my wall once I've made that. And basket of paraphernalia, some spare offcuts, some best press, as you do. My fabulous Oliso iron, which I don't iron there. I iron here, but I just have it handy there. And this I can just move out of the way when I want to get into this cupboard. Love this pattern on here. This is a Laurie Holt. You grow old too soon and smart too late. Isn't that the truth? That's lovely. So the ironing board lives permanently in here, and don't worry, no other males in the house are allowed to use that iron. Otherwise they get in big trouble. Lovely calendar from the Fat Quarter shop. Have some threads there just because they look pretty and that's where I like them. That's a previous embroidery stitch of mine. Some silks, some metallic gutterman and some silk guttermans. And then up here on these lovely shelves I have more things that make me smile. This mug I think was from Empress Mills in Colne. You can see my big stitch bug there. I have a jar full of bobbins, previous makes that you've seen before. The tribute to Frida Kahlo. That was for my 50th birthday. And then behold, my lovely Lego creation made by my eldest son for my birthday last year. He designed this himself on a programme, ordered all the bits from various different sellers, and then we sat together and we built it together from his plans. This is a little minifigure of me looking cross for some reason. And he even designed a decorative faceplate for me. This is one of my favourite things ever that anybody's ever made for me. It's got a real working wheel on it. I'm going to try to move it. See, the wheel goes round. He's not totally happy with it because it's a little bit, doesn't stay straight, but overall, I mean, this is absolutely immense and I adore that he did this for me. I've even got M75. That's my year of birth, so that's my model number of my old Singer sewing machine. How sweet is that? I know. I was really touched by that. And he was only 16 when he did that for me. And this was a lovely gift of my friend Sally for when we were both turning 50. So this is my, oh, I'll show you this as well. This is where I'm up to with Millie's dresses for Pauline. Pauline keeps asking me. I've cut everything and I've started stitching together. So that's my quip, my quilt in progress. And then under there I keep more baskets of goodies. This one is various projects that I want to do, sewing projects. This one is fabrics, Christmassy fabrics. This one is yet more sewing projects to do. And this one is my Lunar Lapping collection, clothes and other teddies to sew. And then just bits of equipment down there. I can get to the other side, I can pull that out, and I have got some stuff on the other side of the desk. Some mount board as well there that I did think at one point I was going to use to wrap my fabric, as I saw somebody on Flosstube doing that as a way to manage your fabric storage, but then I think I just decided against. That was something else I've made. That was a fused glass workshop, and I made, this is 3 seasons, so that's summer. Little bees and the strawberries and cherry blossom, sorry for the shadows, and snowdrops. So I think that's going to go outside somewhere. It's a plant trellis, but I actually don't want it to be covered up with plants, so I've yet to decide where that's going to live permanently. And then we move on to my fabric storage, a nice jumbly mess. Let me open the doors one moment. There we go, all my fat quarter projects. I'm sure you'll recognise some of those. A stack of Tilda, stack of Lorry there, other random bits, more Tilda, more IYKYK, and in the back here I have my bag of lavender, which keeps my fabric smelling absolutely beautiful even through that bag. So if you could smell it, you would love the smell. Up there I have more sets and also a bit more Lego behind, as we are big AFOLs in this house, adult fans of Lego. And then further down I have scrap box, little charm packs and scrap bits cut off, plain fabrics on a roll. There's more cross stitch patterns. That is actually what I was thinking about putting in the empty cupboard, just to bring all my cross stitch stuff together, and that would be room for more fabric in there. And then in the rest of the cupboard I have got a mixture of paper craft items, because paper crafting was my previous hobby. Magazines, free kits, etc, etc. And to the right I have yet another Kallax storage system with the rest of my Millie's dresses quilt pattern. They're all cut and ready. And another quilt project waiting to go. And then again there's more paper craft. Oh no, not in that one, there isn't. That's more fabric, Teresa Kogut, and some projects. Wadding and batting. And then this is more paper crafting down here. My card blanks and my dies, etc. So they're all hidden away down there. And these where I can see them. And then more paper crafting up there, and a painting I did at a sort of sip and stitch event. So that's my fabric quilty side with the ironing board ready to go. Sorry for the movements. Which brings me to my last wall. As I said, that's my quilt wall. So those are the blocks I've done so far for the Riley Blake Designs block challenge. So I can, this is like a fleecy piece of fabric that then you can stick your blocks to. bookcase with all my various books. More random at the top. Cross stitch. Sewing. And more down there, magazines, etc. This is my overspill. Oh, that's me and my husband when we got married. Yes, I was pregnant. This is my overspill whip box. Oh, in there's a good collection of all my whips. Fabrics that I was using for the Riley Blake Designs block challenge. So I was alternating pinks and teals. And then, as you can see, more, yet more. More. Okay, so I shall now just remove the quilt wall and show you what's behind there. There you go. So I have an immense collection of really useful project boxes. The bigger ones are the 9 litres and the smaller ones are the 4 litres. And I had that unit made when we had a new kitchen in our previous house. So that was designed especially for that purpose and works absolutely brilliantly. It kept all my supplies just neat in a neat position around my little corner of the kitchen that I had. So now formerly it was more paper crafts. Now it is a mix of stitching and paper crafts. You can see there I've got fabrics and I've got my even weaves and my linens, floss, all separated into section. That's a lovely box, Mill Hill kits, zips, more fabrics, my wiggly box. That's a nice box as well, let me show you that. Out. That's all my wiggly fabrics and silks that I got while I was in her monthly club. And then more papercraft stuff on the right hand side that I don't want to part with, even though I don't really do papercrafts at the moment. And then you'll see I just screwed a batten at the top and put my quilting clips on it, and then that's what enables me to put my quilting wall in front. So I get 2 uses. I can easily access behind, and I can also keep it covered up with quilt blocks. Usual mobile stand, I think we've all got one of those, haven't we? And then my sewing corner, which I'll move on to next. Finally, my sewing machine corner. This is a repeat take, as I lost the audio on the first one. If you're wondering why the light's slightly different, it's almost 6 o'clock. And this I absolutely love. This is my favourite part of this room in many ways because I don't have to put my sewing machine away anymore. Previously, if I wanted to do any sewing, my sewing machine went on the end of the dining table, and now it doesn't have to. It can live there forevermore with all its things around it. There is my lovely Necky machine, which I love because it has so many stitches and it also has an alphabet. And I can easily just move the little quilting box and my threads just over to here when I am stitching something where I need that space for. So it's not a huge space, but I have little light there to help me with my stitching. And where's my switch? And I'm just ready to go with my snips and my stiletto. And these I shall show you. These belonged to my grandma Edith. Goodness knows how old they are. Pink in shears, and she will have used them an awful lot. So this is my way of being close to my grandma. I try to use them as much as I can in my sewing projects when I need to. Sheffield made, really lovely, very special because they keep me close to my grandma. And more sewing accessories in the corner of my 3 little mice. And down here I have extra things that I need: sewing feet, clips, threads, bobbin storage box, more threads. So everything I need to hand in that corner for when I'm sewing. And I also can make use of this desk. This one was for my husband. He's upgraded to a better one, so I inherited it, which means I've got a perfect little corner where I can set up the pressing mat and the little iron and the pressing block on there for when I'm doing my quilting. So I can iron, stitch, iron, stitch. I also use this desk for anything else. So it's currently housing my little miniature sewing room, which you might have seen, which I'm in the process of building. There's the kit. I have all the parts under the desk in that box that's got all my glues and the bits in. This is a Stitchy delivery from today. This was from So Hot. They've actually got a quilting Festival of Quilt show offer on this weekend. If you go to their Instagram page, So Hot UK, you will find a discount code, which I have used to buy this lovely lot. And then these came from Wool Warehouse. These are for kitting up Goose on the Loose by Hands On Designs. Can't wait to start that. There was another little present from my husband. And my sheep. Seasonal. This is a bonsai tree. Now, whether it's doing very well or not, I couldn't tell you. I've been growing it since Christmas. My mother-in-law bought it me. I may well be long gone before that's ready for any pruning, but I'm trying my best with it. A couple of Rendale vases, and in there are some flowers that I started from this book, Bouquet in a Book by Prudence Rogers. I won that actually. So that's my efforts so far. Very cute. And that brings us back round to my cross stitching desk. Thank you very much. Next job is to try and edit that all together. I really hope it's not too wobbly and making you feel sick. If it made you feel sick, I'm really sorry. I didn't know the best way to do it really. And so I hope you enjoyed that, a little glimpse into my stitching life. I know I'm extremely lucky to have this sewing room, and I hope you enjoyed having a little glimpse into it, a little look around. Don't forget to keep my secrets, and let me know if you've got any questions, if there's anything I didn't explain, I didn't show you, or you want to see, or you don't know where it's from, or just feel free to ask and I shall explain. And I'll be back with some normal cross-stitching and stitching content in a week or two when I've done some more to show you. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all okay and happy stitching. See you soon. Bye.